Your basement drain is not a drain, it's a door, and right now on the other side of that door is everything that flows through your city's underground network. The accumulated waste of every home, every building, every street level drain within miles of where you're sitting. Under normal conditions, that door only opens one way. The 2026 storm season is not normal conditions. I want you to think about the last time you looked at your basement floor drain. Really looked at it. Most homeowners haven't. It sits there flush with the concrete, doing its job quietly for years. You walk past it every time you do laundry. You've never had a reason to think about what's on the other side. Go look at it right now. Find the drain. Circular grate, flush with the concrete floor, standing water in it. That's the trap. 4 inches deep, clear or slightly cloudy. Looks harmless. It isn't. Your home connects to a municipal sewer line, so does every home on your block, every building on your street, every storm drain for miles. One network, designed with a specific capacity, a maximum volume before pressure builds beyond what the system can handle. Most American municipal sewer systems were built between 1950 and 1980, engineered for the rainfall patterns of that era, not for 2026. Picture the pipe under your street, 8 feet down, concrete tunnel wide enough to crawl through, every connection from every building feeding into it. Normally steady flow, downhill, predictable. Storm conditions, water rising, flow slowing, pressure building against every sealed opening, your drain included. When meteorologists say a storm system will produce record rainfall, most people picture flooding in low-lying areas, rivers overflowing, streets underwater, cars partially submerged. The news films it. What the news won't show you is what's happening underground while those images are being filmed. Every inch of rain that falls on an urban surface has to go somewhere. Everything that doesn't absorb into soil runs into storm drains, gutters, and street-level collection points, all feeding into the same underground network that handles your home's waste. The streets flood. Underground. That's where the real damage starts. When that network receives more volume than it was designed to handle, pressure builds. The system doesn't fail all at once, it backs up. Flow that was moving in one direction slows, stops, and then begins moving in the other direction as pressure equalizes across the network. That pressure doesn't dissipate into the ground, it finds the path of least resistance. In most homes, that path is the basement floor drain, the lowest point in the residential plumbing system, directly connected to the municipal line, with nothing between your basement floor and the pressurized contents of the city's sewer network except a small amount of standing water in a trap that was never designed to hold back significant pressure. The trap holds until it doesn't. When it fails fast. When the municipal system backs up under load, that trap fails in seconds. What comes through the drain isn't rainwater, it's the pressurized contents of an overwhelmed sewer system. What makes this frustrating? The vulnerability isn't a defect. Your plumbing was installed correctly, to code, meeting every standard. The floor drain works exactly as designed. The trap holds under normal operating conditions. The flaw is in the assumption that municipal pressure will never exceed what the trap can handle. For decades that held, not anymore. Built to code, installed correctly, still fails. That's the problem nobody mentions. Aging infrastructure combined with increasing precipitation intensity means the pressure events that overwhelm passive traps are happening more frequently, affecting more cities and lasting longer than system designers ever modeled for. The building code hasn't caught up. Disclosure requirements haven't caught up. The conversation that should happen between contractor and homeowner almost never happens. So homeowners discover the limitation the hard way. During a storm at 2 a.m., Sarah woke at 2 a.m. to a smell. Walked downstairs, basement floor, wet. Not a puddle, a spreading pool, dark water, coming from the drain, still coming. She stood there watching it rise. By morning, 3 inches across the entire floor. Restoration quote, $43,000. NOAA's long-range precipitation models have been tracking an atmospheric pattern climatologists have watched for 3 years. Storm systems projected for 2026 spring and early summer are tracking larger, slower moving, and the most moisture-laden in the historical record for most of the continental United States. Slower moving storms are the specific threat for sewer backflow. Fast-moving storms move on before underground pressure builds to critical levels. Slow-moving systems saturate the same area over 12, 24, 48 hours, maintaining continuous inflow long after surface storage capacity is exhausted. Slow-moving storms, maximum duration, maximum pressure. The timeline is this year. The $50 valve I'm going to show you in this video doesn't require a plumber, doesn't require special tools, installs in under 2 hours, and mechanically prevents municipal sewer pressure from ever reaching your basement floor, regardless of what's happening in the lines outside your home. $50, 2 hours, 1 valve, complete protection. But before we get to the solution, I need to show you exactly what happens in the hours before a backflow event, because the warning signs are real, they're readable, and most homeowners miss every single one of them. The warning signs start 6 hours before the water appears. Most people miss all of them, not because they're subtle, but because nobody told them what to look for, and because the signs appear in places homeowners don't think to check during a storm. The 6 hours before a backflow event look like this. Hour 6. It starts in the lowest fixtures in your home: the basement utility sink, the washing machine drain, the basement bathroom if your home has one. You're in the basement doing laundry. The washing machine drains. Normally water gone in 10 seconds. Today 30 seconds. You watch it, swirling slower. A minute passes, still draining. Something's wrong. You don't know what yet. Most homeowners think partial clog. Call the plumber next week. They don't connect it to what's outside. The reality: the municipal line is filling, back pressure is increasing, your plumbing works fine, the system receiving it doesn't. The slow drain is your first warning. It means the municipal system is at elevated capacity. It means conditions are developing. It means the window for protective action is open, and it won't stay open. Hour 4. This is the sign most homeowners notice but misinterpret. You flush the upstairs toilet. You hear it from the basement gurgling, a deep wet sound from the floor drain. You walk down, water bubbling, little pops of air breaking the surface. The drain is talking to you. When you flush a toilet or run water in an upper floor fixture, you hear gurgling from the basement drain. Sometimes bubbles appear. Sometimes the water level in a floor-level toilet rises slightly when another fixture drains. This is the municipal line communicating with your plumbing. Pressure building underground, air displaced by rising liquid, coming up through your lowest connection points. Gurgling drains during heavy rain are not a minor inconvenience, they are a pressure gauge. The system is telling you directly that the municipal line is approaching capacity and that the direction of flow is becoming unstable. Gurgling means pressure. Pressure means timeline. You have hours, maybe less. Hour 2. This one is unmistakable. You walk into the basement. Stop. That smell. Sewer gas, rotting, sulfur, wrong. Coming from the drain. You cover your nose. Walk closer. Stronger near the floor. This isn't a clog, this is pressure. A sewer gas smell rising from basement drains means the liquid level in the municipal line has reached the point where it's displacing the gas pocket that normally sits above the water line in the underground pipes. That gas is being pushed up through your home's plumbing connections. Smell means displacement, gas coming up, water coming next. This is the final warning. If you smell sewer gas from your basement during a storm, the backflow event is not a possibility, it's a timeline. You are measuring the remaining window in hours. This is the point at which most homeowners realize something is genuinely wrong, often too late to take effective action before water appears. Backflow events don't build gradually. They arrive. Mark heard gurgling all evening, ignored it. 2:17 a.m., a sound woke him, rushing water. He ran downstairs. Basement floor, dark liquid spreading from the drain, fast, not trickling, pouring. He stepped in it, cold, thick, smelled like a sewer. He grabbed his phone, called for help, too late. The volume that comes through a floor drain during a backflow event is not a trickle. Municipal sewer lines operate under significant pressure during overflow conditions. When that pressure finds an open path into your basement, it moves fast, contaminated water across your basement floor in minutes, into stored items, into wall cavities at the base of the drywall, into the concrete slab itself. The contamination isn't just water damage. Sewage carries biological material that saturates porous surfaces permanently. Concrete absorbs it, drywall absorbs it, wood absorbs it. Removal, not cleaning, $30,000 minimum. Remediation standard is removal and replacement, not cleaning. Porous materials contaminated with sewage cannot be cleaned to a habitable standard. This is why restoration companies quote $30,000 to $60,000 for backflow remediation. They're not charging for cleaning, they're charging for the demolition and reconstruction of everything the contaminated water touched. Standard homeowners insurance policies contain specific exclusions for sewer and drain backflow. The language varies by policy, but the substance is consistent. Damage caused by water backing up through drains or sewers is not covered under standard policy terms. Backflow coverage exists as a rider, an add-on that typically costs between $50 and $150 per year. Most homeowners don't have it because nobody told them the standard policy doesn't cover this specific event. Standard policy, exclusion, rider $50 a year. Most people, no coverage. That's the gap. Check your policy this week. Find the water damage section. Look for language about drains, sewers, and backflow. If the exclusion is there and the rider isn't, a 15-minute phone call to your insurance agent changes your coverage for the cost of a monthly streaming subscription. That call is worth making before the storm season. It is not worth making after. Pull out your homeowner's insurance policy right now. Find the water damage section. What you find will either give you peace of mind or give you a very important phone call to make tomorrow morning. Either outcome is better than not looking. The solution costs $50, not $500, not a plumber on retainer, not a full basement waterproofing system that a contractor quotes you $15,000 to install. A single mechanical valve available at any hardware store that installs without special tools and creates a physical barrier between your basement floor and whatever pressure builds in the municipal line outside your home. But before the valve, we need to understand why everything else fails. Sandbags around the drain. Storm night, you stack 3 layers around the drain. Heavy, feels secure. 2 hours later, water rising from the center, pushing up. Sandbags floating, water spreading. Your barrier, useless. Pressure comes from below, inside the drain, pushing upward. Sandbags placed outside do nothing against upward pressure. They contain surface water, not pressurized flow from below. Water lifts whatever you placed and spreads across your floor. Drain plugs. Passive drain plugs. Rubber or plastic inserts work against low-pressure events but fail under municipal pressure. They rely on friction and gravity. High-pressure events dislodge them. The plug comes out, the event proceeds. Friction versus pressure. Gravity versus force. Physics wins. The plug loses. And clean out caps. Some homeowners open them to relieve pressure. Worst possible response. This provides the pressurized municipal line a larger path directly into your basement. Don't. A backflow prevention valve, also called a check valve or backwater valve, is a mechanical device installed directly in your drain line that allows flow in only one direction. Waste from your home flows out normally. Flow from the municipal side cannot enter. Simple mechanism, a flap on a hinge, rubber or polymer. Water flows outward, flap opens. Pressure reverses, flap closes, creates a seal. Not dependent on your attention, not dependent on whether you're home. Operates mechanically, automatically, in response to the direction of flow. 3 a.m., worst storm of the year, you're asleep, the municipal line reaches critical pressure, the valve closes on its own. That's the difference. This is the difference between a passive system that relies on normal conditions and an active mechanical barrier that responds to abnormal conditions, regardless of what time it is, regardless of whether you're watching. Not all backflow prevention valves are equal. 2 categories matter. Normally open swing check valves sit open and close when backflow is detected. These are for regular use drains. Normally closed gate valves stay closed until outward pressure exceeds the threshold. These are for infrequent use drains. For most residential basement floor drains, you want a normally open swing check valve in 3 or 4 inches. Available at Home Depot, Lowe's, or any plumbing supply store. $30 to $80. To winning a Sains Plomen Sply Talk. That raftala you non-creo, makits better to $8. Nomen whether dollars like 9. Final operant maltual. That we good on. Normally opens version pritches spritcher preems to kind. Moment whether to those. Tall the Hugh Herald the dollars that moment nay, the chilling dollars like non. A deco gort. That moment like away, Hedridge spielers, that working feral bana you. No special order. Available now. Look for a removable access panel. You'll need to clean the valve seat periodically. Debris accumulates and prevents proper sealing over time. A valve without access becomes a maintenance problem. Buy the one with the panel. It's the same price. This is where most homeowners assume they need a plumber. For most basement floor drain installations, they don't. Standard installation. Cut the drain line 2 to 3 feet from the floor drain. Install the valve in line with the arrow pointing away from the home toward the municipal line. Tools needed: pipe cutter or hacksaw, PVC primer and cement, measuring tape. 2 hours. You measure the valve, mark the pipe with a Sharpie, cut with the hacksaw, smooth clean cut. Apply primer, purple liquid, sharp chemical smell, then cement. Push the valve in, twist, hold 30 seconds, hand sticky, done. Apply primer and cement. Don't rush this step. Insert the valve oriented correctly. The arrow on the housing shows the permitted flow direction, pointing away from the home. Let the cement cure per the product label before running water. For cast iron drains in pre-1970 homes, use rubber coupling connectors instead of cement. Similar process, different connectors. Critical detail: the valve installs on the house side of the trap, not between the trap and the drain opening. Installing on the wrong side creates maintenance problems and reduces effectiveness. Floor drain valve covers the most common entry point, but not every entry point. Homes with basement bathrooms have additional connections, toilet, shower, and sink. Each is a potential backflow path. For homes with basement bathrooms, an overhead sewer system is the most effective solution. It routes waste up and over the municipal connection, preventing backflow regardless of pressure. Requires a plumber, $3,000 to $8,000. Homes without below-grade bathrooms. The floor drain valve covers the primary vulnerability for under $100. Floor drain, under $100. Basement bathroom, $8,000. Know what you need. David installed his valve last March. October storm hit, worst in 20 years. He woke to sirens, checked the basement, floor dry. His neighbor's basement, 3 inches of sewage. Same street, same storm, $50 difference. Know which situation your home is in before you decide which solution applies. Everything in one place. The threat is real, the timeline is this year, and the action required is simpler than anything the home improvement industry will try to sell you. Let's close this out cleanly. The action list, in order. This week, the insurance call. Before you buy anything or install anything, call your insurance agent. You pull out your phone, dial your agent. Does my policy include sewer backup coverage? Pause. No, you'd need the rider. How much? $80 a year. You add it. Done. 15 minutes. Protection locked in. Ask one specific question. Does my current policy include sewer and drain backup coverage? If the answer is no, and for most standard policies it will be no, ask what a backflow rider costs to add. In most cases it's between $50 to $150 per year. Add it. This call takes 15 minutes. It costs less than a dinner out, and it means that if a backflow event occurs before you complete the mechanical installation, or if an event exceeds what the valve can handle, you have financial coverage for the remediation. Do the insurance call first. Everything else is secondary to this. This weekend, the assessment. Go to your basement, flashlight in hand, find the floor drain, circular metal grate. Measure it with a tape measure, 3 inches or 4 inches across the opening. Check the pipe coming out of the wall, white or gray PVC or dark gray cast iron. Write down what you find, take photos, you'll reference them at the hardware store. For most homes, this is 1 floor drain, sometimes 2. For homes with basement bathrooms, add the toilet, shower, and sink to your count. The purchase. Hardware store, plumbing aisle. You show the employee your photo. 4-inch backflow valve, normally open. He walks you to the shelf, pulls a box. This one, $58. You grab PVC primer and cement, purple can, $15. Total, $73. For a 3-inch drain, budget $35 to $55. For a 4-inch drain, budget $45 to $75. If your lines are cast iron, ask for rubber Fernco couplings instead, $8 to $12 each. You'll need 2, under $100. Available now, no special order. The installation window. The 2026 storm season begins in earnest in March and April across most of the continental United States. You have a clear window right now before the ground saturates, before municipal systems begin operating at elevated capacity, before the warning signs we discussed become relevant. Installation after the first significant storm warning creates unnecessary time pressure. A curing adhesive that needs 24 hours to reach full strength is a problem when the storm is 18 hours away. Before you need it. Before the warning signs, before the storm, that's the window. A backflow prevention valve is not a guarantee against all water damage. Extreme events can overwhelm mechanical solutions. Homes with multiple below-grade entry points need more comprehensive approaches. No single hardware fix addresses every vulnerability. What the valve does is remove the most common, most preventable cause of severe basement damage from your risk profile. It converts your floor drain from an open door into a one-way gate. It operates without your attention, without power, without any action on your part at the moment it's needed most. Lisa did all this last February. Total time, 4 hours. Total cost, $92. April storm hit, the one Noah warned about. Her neighbor's 3 basements flooded, remediation quotes averaging $38,000. Lisa's basement dry. She checked it twice, still dry. $92 well spent. For under $100 in materials and 2 hours of a weekend afternoon, you eliminate the primary mechanism by which the 2026 storm season turns a bad weather day into a 5-figure remediation project. That math is straightforward. The action is straightforward. The only question is whether you do it before the storm season or after. Before the storm season or after. Your choice. Your basement. Your 5-figure bill. This channel exists for one reason: the infrastructure failures nobody talks about until it's too late, the $50 solutions that prevent $50,000 problems. The action you can take before the crisis, not during it. If being prepared instead of reacting matters to you, make sure you're here for the next one. The threats don't stop, the solutions keep coming, neither do we.